Well, first of all, good to see you. Congratulations on this. And I don't know why, but I just don't quite see you as a comic book kind of gal. Are you?
I am, yeah. I'm a fan of comic books, and I hesitate to say like I'm a hardcore comic fan because you have to really know what you're talking about when you claim something like that, because the world that exists around comics is it's almost kind of elitist. And you have to have a huge Rolodex of information when you say that you're a real fan. And I'm a fan of many comic books, but I would never say I'm hardcore because there's lots of things I don't know about. So I want to make that clear so that I don't get stoned by the real comic book fans. But yeah, I grew up, I of course loved most of the mainstream comics like X-Men and Gen 13 and a lot of Michael Turner's stuff, Witchblade, things like that.
Yeah. So when you take on a role like this, or when you're involved in a film like this, and there are of course those hardcore fans, does that put more pressure on you because you want to make them happy?
Yes, I was just talking about this actually. You do of course want to make the fans happy, especially with something like this that's based on a comic book that's been around for so long and people have been reading it for so long. But you can't, God bless them, I love them, they're so hard to please. And you can try your hardest, you're never going to please all of them completely because they're so detail-oriented. It's just impossible to take something that is a comic and convert it into a live-action film and be completely true to the comic. You have to make some sort of adaptations. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it is. So we, of course, did that with this one, as we did with Transformers, and many other movies have been the same. But you try to stay as true to it as possible out of respect for the fans.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Lila, I liked her. I think she was funky. There was a lot more to her than just being, the prostitute.
Thanks.
Prostitute with a heart of gold, for sure.
Sure.
Well, she did. She had her soft spots. But what was it about her that you thought, wow, I just really want to tackle this gal?
I wanted to tackle it just because it was given. It wasn't like I chose this movie. It came to me, and it was just an unbelievable opportunity to work with Josh and to work with John. And I don't care what I had been playing. I would have played a hot dog in the movie. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to work with these people. So it wasn't really about necessarily tackling the character. I just wanted to do the best that I could in a movie with these people.
And then, okay, let's just get this white elephant out of the room, because that waist of yours, my dear, oh God, Josh complains about the makeup process. I'm sorry, he had nothing on, on you having to be sucked into that corset. Can you talk about that?
Maybe I'm sick, but I loved it. I liked it, and they never wanted to really suck me in all the way because everyone was like, you're gonna faint, people, and I always wanted it as tight as it would possibly go. And so there were some scenes where we got it down to like 18 inches, I think, and then there were other scenes like the heavy action scenes with the gunslinging and stuff. They refused to tighten it that tight because everyone, like, for safety purposes, was convinced I would pass out. So that was looser and it was easier to get around in, but I like it.
Well, it looked amazing, but but during those fight scenes, Megan, how do you manipulate yourself in that you can breathe?
You get used to it, oddly. The first couple of hours you're in it, first of all, you can't eat wearing it. You can't, because your stomach just doesn't expand, or really drink anything. I made the mistake of having something from Coffee Bean, like some mixed milk mocha with whipped cream on top. That was such a bad idea. Your body, you acclimate to it, and it starts to feel, you forget that you're wearing it until you take it off at the end of the day. And then I would have these deep grooves in my body from the boning, and like these deep lines, and my ribs would be sore. It's sort of like a torture device, but while it's on, you forget that it's on and you get used to it.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Josh, what a lovely guy he is. So much fun. And I understand, I think, did he bring the script to you? Was it him who initiated you wanting to be in the film?
Yeah. I had read the script before he was attached to it. And I read the first few pages and I was like, oh my Lord, it's so violent. I can't even read it. And he ended up attaching to it and asking me to meet with him, and for whatever reason he thought I was the right choice, and I was like, God bless you, I will of course be involved in this. It's my pleasure.
You had great chemistry. Was it fun to work with him? What was it like working with him?
He's very fun, and he's very charismatic and very witty. He's a really smart guy, And he's so brilliant and so talented, so it was a lot of fun to work with him.
What was your very first reaction when you saw him in that makeup?
I saw it when they were putting it on him for the first time when they were doing tests. And the initial test, he also had a tape situation on his eye, so it would pull his eye completely down. And he was like, what do you think about this? Should I do it? And I said, I physically don't think you're going to make it through 3 or 4 months of walking around like that all day, every day. And thank God they didn't do it, because I think he said he was starting to get like an eye infection within the first couple of hours. But that makeup was brutal, and he couldn't eat, and he couldn't actually drink anything. They had to feed it to him through a straw. It was very strange. And he was smoking. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Did he talk about it? Okay. He was smoking, and there's like this hole in the side of his makeup in his cheek, and so he would have to plug it with his fingers so that he could smoke his cigarette. It was so disgusting. It was so disgusting.
I did ask him about that.
Yeah.
I said, you were smoking when you made this, and I said, I could just imagine, like, it would come out this side.
He had to plug it with his other hand.
Gross.
Yeah.
Now, I know, I mean, you yourself are a self-confessed Lord of the Rings geek. I know that. And so when you see something like that as a fan and you're watching it, you know, are you satisfied? You know, does that
With Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Well, I try not to be one of those judgmental fans, but I will say, like, one of the things that stuck out in my mind when I first saw the movies were the Ents, like Treebeard. In the book, they were much more intimidating looking. They were sort of frightening and spooky. And in the movie, they were like claymation, like something you would see on Nickelodeon almost. And I was like, wah, wah. When I saw that, I was a little disappointed in that. But you gotta let that stuff go and just enjoy the fact that they brought this world to life for your benefit. You gotta just immerse yourself in it. You can't pick it apart. It's just impossible. There's, especially those books, Tolkien created this huge world. Like, you could not possibly take his book and put it on screen as it is and not change anything. Things have to change. Yeah.
You have a bunch of projects coming up. When you just work with Mickey Rourke, I mean, how exciting that must have been. And but down the line, Megan, do you see yourself wanting to write or produce or even perhaps direct something like that? Where do you see yourself going?
I don't think I would ever direct. I mean, I would have to really study and learn what I was doing. Producing seems like something that I could do, because you watch all of this happen around you as an actor. You see how projects come together, and you're in on the conversations and whatever. And I feel like at some point I could possibly start producing, and I would be interested in that. I'm not aspiring to do that at the moment, though.
Well, congratulations on this. You did a really good job.
Thank
and you're good with the gun. I hope that wasn't too hard to handle.
I liked it.
Yeah,
Felt powerful.
We'll see you next time with another gun. Anyway, take care. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.